What's up, guys? It's Cam Cut. Today, we're going to talk about some of my favorite option strategies. And we're going to go over them. We're going to talk about credit spreads, we're going to talk about debit spreads, we're going to talk about cash cure puts, cover calls, sleep options. We're going to talk about it all. Let's go to the notes. So, first, I want to talk about cover calls. Now, listen, cover calls is probably by far one of the best strategies you can do. And the crazy part about cover calls is this. The average person that do invest in the stock market, that owns shares of Apple, Nvidia, Meta, Tesla, they just own a bunch of shares, and it just, yes, you can make money by the stock just sitting there and while the stock appreciate, but a lot of times people just have shares and it just put them in the corner and it just let them just work. You know what I mean? But for a cover call, you can actually take them shares that you own and actually rent them out and make passive income, almost like a dividend. So let me show you an example. Okay, so this is Opendoor. Okay, so let's say you owned it 100 shares of Opendoor. So 100 share Opendoor would cost you $816.99 per share. Just $800 a share. Not per share, but for 100 shares. Now, if you owned it 100 shares of Opendoor, you could literally rent them shares out for weekly income or monthly or however you want to do it. So let me show you, for example. So versus just letting your shares just sit and not do anything for you, you can sell a call against it. Trade option, just do 1 week out. So since I own 100 shares of Opendoor, I could sell a call against my position. So for this, I'm going to put it 8.5. So that means that I'm using my shares as collateral, and I could collect $36 a week passive income just by renting my shares out to somebody else that want to use them. Now the downside of the cover calls is this: if the stock go above your strike price, the person on the other side can actually take your shares, but not take it, but they're going to buy your shares from you. So regardless, you keep the $36 a week for 100 shares, regardless. But if it go over the 850 strike price, the person on the other side can exercise and take your shares. So that's cover calls. The next one we'll go over is the cash cure put. So the cash cure put is when you got strictly all capital. Again, I'm gonna stay with Opendoor because it's easy to understand. So say that you wanted to buy Opendoor, right? But you don't want to spend $8.17 a share. Say you only want to spend $8 a share. The market makers actually pay you just for participating and want to buy Opendoor. So how it works is you do an option contract, you sell a put. If the stock go above 8.17 by expiration, you keep the rent money and you don't own those shares. But however, if Opendoor drop below $8 per share, they'll take that collateral, because they're going to hold collateral, and they're going to force you to buy 100 shares of Opendoor at $8. Now listen, regardless, you keep that rental income, you keep that premium. So let me show you an example. So I'm going to do 1 week out, I'm doing a cash cure put, and I'm saying I'm willing to buy Opendoor at $8. So check this out. They're going to hold $756 in collateral in case if Opendoor drop below $8, you had to buy 100 shares. But that'd be the collateral, $756 plus the 44 that they gave you already. That'd be a total of $800. So cash cure puts is good for stocks that you love, that you're willing to buy. If it drop under, you got them a discount and you keep the premium, the rental income. But however, if it stay above $8 a share, you keep that rental income regardless, and you just keep on repeating. That's a cash cure put. Now, the next thing we'll talk about is the wheel strategy. The wheel strategy is super cool because it's pretty much a cover call and a cash cure put combined. So with the wheel strategy, you start with a cover call, right? If the stock, you own the stock, if the stock go over your strike price, the person on the other side is going to take your shares, but you keep that rental income and you get all that collateral from the stock shares that you own. Once you got all that cash on hand, now you're going to do a cash put. Now you're going to go back and try to get your shares back and get paid for it. And if this cycle is just a repeated cycle over and over and over, it's like super passive income. It's probably one of my favorite strategies to do, just to slow grind premium. The next thing I want to talk about is the credit spread. Now, this is the one I talk about the most. So we're going to still Opendoor. The cool thing about the credit spread is this. The credit spread it's a bullish move. I think the stock is going to go up. But however, as long as the stock stay above a certain price, I still make money. So the stock go up, you make money. Stock go south, you make money. The stock go down, you make money. You just don't want the stock go completely down. So let me show you an example. So I think Opendoor will go to $9 in the next 2-3 weeks. But however, I do think Opendoor will stay above $7.50 per share in the next 5 days, for example. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to trade options. I'm going to go 1 week out. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to sell a put and buy a put. So I think it's going to stay above $7.50. So I'm going to sell the put. That means $22 going on my account immediately. Then I'm going to buy a put. That means it's a debit of $11. That means I'm paying them back $11. Now check this out. I'm investing $37, right? The most I could lose is $37, but I can make $13 as long as the stock stay above $13. So that means the stock can literally pull back dang near 10% and I still make that $13. That's what's so impressive about credit spreads is it's like just like all the other plays I showed you so far, they're all set it and forget it plays. And you can really make a lot of money just slow grind doing credit spreads. As you see, you don't need a lot of money either to do credit spreads. $37 to make 13, that's well over 40% on your money. Easy. Easy strategy. I love this strategy. So next, let's talk about the debit spread. So debit spread is pretty much almost like buying a call option, but you want to get it at a discount. So let's go to the charts. Let's see what. And debit spreads, they tend to pay a lot of money if the stock go in the right direction. Listen, this is a directional move. All the other plays I show you are not directional moves. It don't matter what the direction the stock go. But for debit spread, it actually matters. If your thesis that the stock is go up, that the stock is going to go up, you want your thesis to come to reality. So let's do a debit spread. So I'm doing my trade options. And for example, I'm going to put, let's do 3 weeks out for this example. So I'm going to do my buy a call and sell a call. So for this example, Opendoor is at $8.72 a share. Let's say I think it's going to go to $10 in the next 4 weeks. All right. So I think it's going to my buy a call. And then I'm going to, so I buy a call, right? I mean, I'm paying $67 to get in. Then I'm going to sell a call. That's going to cost me, they're going to pay me $56. So pretty much it's the difference that I pay. So a debit spread is you actually paying to get in a position. For a credit spread, you actually collecting the credit for anything ever happen. So for this play, the most I can lose is $9, but I can make $41. So yes, I'm making 4 or 5x on my money doing this trade. So what I need though, I need the stock to move up roughly 23%, which is possible, not likely, but which is possible in the next 4 weeks. And this is a super volatile stock, so it could happen. So the cool thing about debit spread is this: it's buying a call option, but you're getting it at a discount. And if the stock moves the way you want it to go, you can make some nice premium. Okay, I'm not worried about that right now. Next, we're going to talk about leap options. So leap options is nothing but a call option that have extended expiration. Most leap options, listen, 1 to 2 years is ideal. Most people do 1 year because it makes more sense. But some people do 8 months, but it's not technically a leap option. So usually a year out expiration is what's ideal for a leap option. So pretty much a leap option, again, is just buying a call option that you got so much time. So what happens is this: when you got a leap option for tons of time, it means there's Greeks and options like theta, gamma, delta, so on, so on, so on. One of the things that kill options is something called theta. It's really just time decay. When you give yourself a lot of time on a call option or even a put option, theta don't eat up your contracts as fast. So if I think Opendoor can go to, I don't know, just say $12 a share, and if in the next year, what I could do, I could trade. Let's go to January 16th. Buy a leap option, it's gonna cost me, let's do a $12 strike. It would be $146 to buy a leap option for a whole year out. So once the stock go to $12, I'm making a lot of money. How much money do you make? This is a nice trick that I do. So you see that right now the end of money strike is $2.40. So it's really 240. So the thing is this: how many times can 240 go in 149? So pretty much you're gonna pay roughly 100% on your money, a little under, if it go from $8 to $12 on a leap option. The cool thing about leap option is you just set it and you forget and let the leap option just run. If I think that the stock was gonna go up to $17, how many times can how many times can 99 go into 240? That's how much money you make. So you make roughly 24 times your money if that stock go to $17 a share. That's the leap option. The last strategy that I really love is the poor man's cover call. The reason why I got this last under leap option because the poor man cover call is pretty much just owning a leap option, a year expiration. So when you buy an option contract, right, you don't own the shares, you control the shares. But market makers don't really know the difference when you put the orders in. So once you own a leap option, market makers see you as owning them shares. So since you own those shares, just like the cover calls, you could now rent them out. So let's go back to Opendoor. So set the leap option on Opendoor. Let's start this back. Trade options. Let's go a year out. Let's do just do December. Let's see. Let's just do May 26th. Keep it simple. All right. So it's not a year, but just pretend it's a year. Okay. Now that I own a leap option on Open at $8 a share, I can now do leap options against it. So for example, is this. All right. So it expires May the 15th, 2026. What I would do is I'm going to rent shares out weekly. So just do the 10th. I'm going to sell a call. So listen, I can make roughly $36 a week by just renting out shares I really don't own. That's the cool thing about leap option. Leap option, you own it, and then you can sell calls against it. So you make money two ways. You're making money through the appreciation of the leap option, and you're making weekly income by selling calls against it. So between cover call, cash care puts, will strategy, credit spreads, debit spreads, leads, poor man, which one is better? Really, there's not which one is better. The thing is, which one is better for your situation? You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have money to buy a leap option or buy 100 shares of a stock or having cash do a cash care put. When it comes to budget wise, credit spreads and debit spreads are by far the best strategies if you want a budget, because you could literally accumulate money week after week after week by saying that you think a stock going to stay above a strike price or buying call option at a discount with a debit spread. So when it comes to strictly just budget wise, credit spreads, debit spreads. Even if you got a lot of money, credit spread, debit spreads are a good tool you can use. Cover calls, again, you gotta be able to own 100 shares of that stock. So you buy a stock that costs $100, you need 100 shares, you need $10,000 in capital. Most people don't have $10,000 in capital to start off doing the cover calls. Same for cash care puts. Cash care puts saying I'm willing to buy 100 shares of this stock if it drops under a strike price. So for example, you want to do a cash care put on Walmart, which Walmart is roughly $100 a share, you need $10,000 just in case you had to own those shares of Walmart. Same for the will strategy, because it's just a cover call and cash care put together. So leap options, depending on what kind of stock you get, leap options can be expensive depending on the stock. Poor man cover calls, you can't have an account with a couple $100 in there and try to do poor man cover call. But if you just got like $100, $200, $500 or less, or even $1,000 less, credit spreads and debit spreads would be the best. Which one had the highest risk? The highest risk would probably be the credit spreads and debit spreads, because mainly debit spreads. Debit spreads is a directional move. The one with very minimal risk, I want to say the cover call and the will strategy and cash care put, they got virtually no risk at all. No risk, because yes, stocks fluctuate. Stocks go up and down. By error, that rental income that you collecting from the cover call or the cash put or the wheel strategy, that shows regardless whatever happens to the market. Now check this out. I have a mentorship group. If anybody want to join the mentorship group, just hit me up. Hit me up in the comments. My Discord is 100% free. You can always hit me up on there. Listen, the stock market is at a place. It's by far the best vehicle for financial freedom. I challenge any villager, anybody that's flipping houses, anybody that's selling Pokemon cards or flipping vehicles or refurbishing furniture. I would challenge anybody. Nothing is going to have as much as liquidity. Nothing is going to have a bigger turnaround than the stock market, especially with these option strategies. So again, if you want to join the mentorship group, when I got roughly 5 students in the mentorship group, and they're making that cheddar. They're making that cheddar. They're learning all the tools. They're learning all the strategies. They're getting all the alerts. If you're interested, just hit me up. Again, the Discord is 100% free. It's a amazing community of people that just trading, got the same goals as vision as you. So again, these are my favorite strategies that I like using. That's all I got for you guys right now. It's Camp Cut, and I'm out.